Welcome back to Next Stage Podcast, everyone.
Yo.
We doing video again for the first time in a while.
Oh, yeah.
We got a guest coming on here shortly. Michael Patrick Cesario. Yes, I wasn't sure how to pronounce it right.
Yeah, I'm not certain either.
Yeah,
he'll correct us.
He'll correct us, yeah. Shannon asked me last night, he's like, what's the guy's name? I was like, I want to say it's Mike, or is it Pat? Or I'm like, why can't I get his name? I looked it up on Facebook. Oh, yeah, Michael Patrick. That's why I was confusing Mike and Pat.
Mike Patton.
Mike Patton's coming by Next Stage Podcast. You guys will be seeing a lot more of us from now on.
The whole bungle.
But Tip is his band. He'll be coming on to talk about that. But before that, we're going to squeeze in some music news as per usual.
Got to keep you updated, right?
Yes.
So, where do we want to start?
The very beginning. It's a very good place to start.
Let's do some Trent Reznor news.
Always like that.
It's your boy.
Yeah, my boy.
My boy Blue. So, Trent Reznor has made the news twice this week. Yeah.
This is big times for him.
And it's actually, like, both of them, like, really aren't about him. Like, they involve him, but it's not, like, a big Trent Reznor story.
Would he, like, save somebody from, like, one of the sharks on the Kiss cruise?
Yeah, man. No. So, first news is, I don't know if our listeners know, but his song... 34 Ghosts 4, Roman numeral 4, was sampled by Lil Nas in the Old Town Road song.
No, I didn't even know that. Yeah. And I know the Ghosts album, so basically it's just like 4-disc set of just a bunch of spooky noises for Halloween. Static. He did the soundtrack for that White Noise movie, and that was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Music to fall asleep to?
Pretty much.
Music to cure anxiety.
He made a White Noise app, and it didn't take off, so he just decided to release it as a halo, as he calls all of his releases. They're halos. They're not albums. They're not EPs. They're halos.
Really?
Yeah. Each one of them is called a halo. So there's halo.
Kind of lame.
Yeah. Guys, this whole fan world where everyone's all about completionist, and I'm sure there's like a secret halo that's never released that people have to find somehow by combining two other halos. I don't know.
Oh wow.
But yeah, the Ghost thing was like this 4-disc set of all these just pretty much instrumental tracks in different, very different stages of completion. So some sound more like full songs just without lyrics. Some sound like just sound ideas. So there's a whole range of what they are. So I could see why it would be a great place to dig for samples, because it's pretty... extensive, and also
you would know where it is in the song, but like I have no idea of like where. Number one, I haven't listened to the song that many times, but I do know like the hooky part. Like I'm just trying to picture where that would like be. Like,
that's what I'm curious. I'd have to hear it.
Yeah. And
like I said, a lot of these things on the Ghost, like they might not even have any particular structure or whatever. They're just kind of like these sounds and stuff. Yeah. So like, I don't know how much of it was sampled.
Almost kind of meant to be sampled.
Yeah, it kind of seems like it. Like they are like just ideas. So I guess Ghosts makes sense, like the ghost of a song, like where he starts incubating things that might eventually turn into a song. So there's probably a lot of...
Wasn't quite good for a halo.
Yeah, this isn't Halo material, but if I put enough of them together, arranged in a circular fashion...
Ghost Halo.
The Ghost Halo. Yeah, well, I guess...
So, anyways, I guess he's been getting a lot of like attention once people found out that song was sampled in this song, and he got a #1 hit for it because he was credited on the song.
Wow.
I guess so. There's a little backstory now of how it happened and how his song was sampled. I'll read a little excerpt from that.
Yeah, I'm curious how Lil Nas X knew about these obscure...
Well, that I'm not going to go into that deep of history. I'm just going to go by like what he's reporting on. But
yeah, who knows? It might have been somebody who made this track for him, and he just, I think in a lot of these cases, people aren't making their own tracks.
I don't want to speak for Lil Nas, but I don't think that he was the one digging for it. You know what I mean?
Has the real Nas come after him for his name?
You would think, right?
Yeah.
Or Nas is like, nah, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm good.
That only validates him.
Yeah.
Do not engage.
So anyways, I guess there's a quote here from Trent talking about how it happened. He said, "The way it was presented to me originally is I got a call from my management saying, We got a call from a panicked manager saying that they had used a sample of something off Ghosts. They should have cleared it, but it didn't get cleared. It's picking up some steam on the viral Spotify charts. What do you think about that? And I said, look, I'm fine with it. I get how stuff goes. They're not saying that they didn't sample it. Just work it out. Don't be a roadblock to this. I hadn't heard it yet. Then a few weeks later, I was like, holy shit. That song blew up.
Yeah.
I mean, that became the anthem of the year. And
wasn't it like breaking records for like longest at number one?
I think so.
For like,
yeah,
it kind of
give any
replaced.
facts on that, but
Didn't it beat like the Beatles? Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
I remember hearing something about
What does
that.
that say about the Beatles? So I guess all those accreditations aren't really that important, are they?
I don't know. George Martin should have made some Ghost songs,
Yeah,
apparently.
he should have. Ghost songs. Well, that's cool, though. At least his initial reaction was like, oh, I'm not going to stop somebody else's thing from going on.
That was kind of cool.
His without sight unseen, not knowing what it was about, was just like, hey, don't mess with somebody who's up and coming and doing something that's getting attention. Like, I don't want to stop that.
Yeah. No, I admired that.
Yeah.
It was a cool move by him.
And
So-
even when he did hear it, apparently didn't, whatever his reaction was like, uh-oh, but he still didn't, like, stop it.
Yeah.
So that shows, despite all of his, whatever people may think about him and if he's pretentious or not, like, he still didn't bring the hammer down when he could have.
Right. Well, he went on further and he said, the reason I haven't stepped in to comment about anything about this is I don't feel it's my place to play any kind of social critic to that. It was a material that was used in a significant way, and it turned into something that became something else. And those guys should be the ones the spotlight is on.
That's an awesome attitude.
Yeah, he's like, they asked me if I wanted to do a cameo in the music video, and it was flattering. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I say that with complete respect. I think he went on and said that he didn't want to. Yeah, where is it?
He released a statement.
He said he denied the opportunity because I don't feel like it's my place to shine a light on me for that.
So he basically released a statement like, if you don't want to worry about your producer being all in the videos, all on the tracks, come to Nothing Records.
Pretty much.
He Suge Knighted that.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Suge? Right? Didn't he die in
I don't
prison?
know. I couldn't
He died
tell
in
you.
prison, right? I think so.
Super Pac killed him.
You'll have to tune into last week's episode for that.
After he changed his identity.
So yeah, that was cool.
Wow, I had no idea that Trent Reznor was attached to the Old Town Road phenomenon. And that's like, I mean, isn't that crazy? Somebody who's, he's been like an enduring figure of music if you pay attention to Nine Inch Nails, but like he hasn't been like...
But isn't this kind of like a light-hearted Trent Reznor?
Yeah.
This is a little different for him. We're seeing the change of a possible change in Marilyn Manson after our last podcast. So maybe.
And speaking of which,
some of these guys that were like untouchable, hard nosed, like demon figures in the '90s are now
getting tired of it.
Maybe that's it. Yeah.
But speaking of which, my brother Jake had sent me the picture of the Rolling Stone magazine where Kanye's on the cover with a crown of thorns.
No.
Yeah. And it says The Passion of Kanye.
We're gonna get in.
He's getting religious. I'm telling you, man.
Oh, dude. You didn't listen to any of the album, right?
No.
It is one.
But my prediction was between that he was doing it for that
Christian music.
Yeah.
He said that he's not gonna make any music that has a swear word in it anymore. All of the songs are gonna be about God and Jesus, and it's weird though. He's turning it into like this self-identity kind of thing.
That's what I mean. It's all for attention.
Man.
It's his new way of being controversial.
It is, and it's really weird.
I called it.
You did.
I called it.
You did, man. And the album, I've only heard a few songs off it. We're gonna break that down in a later episode.
We've taken dirty as far as it can go. What about clean?
Yeah.
Clean is the new dirty. I got it. That's what he said. Clean is the new dirty.
Yeah, so I've heard a few cuts off of it. It's interesting to say the least. I don't know. It's
I'll have to give it a listen to. I mean, honestly,
I haven't listened to it like full headphone, like give it a full listen, deep listen.
I already done scooped the poop. Now it's clean.
Yeah, man. So All right, we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
Episode. We could go on Kanye talk for a long time here.
Cutting into our time budget here.
So Trent Reznor also made some news this week about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I guess he's had a little bit of a change of heart about the whole process.
See, again, he's softening.
Yeah. So he had, like, apparently, I'm not going to go into all the quotes he made. A lot of it's very explicit language. But he's was talking about the process of, like, if Nine Inch Nails got inducted and what they would have to go through and actually play in front of people and how awkward that would be and just how, you know, of a BS experience that really is and, like, doesn't represent their music and that, you know, in that way.
Yeah, I couldn't see them fitting in with the traditional Rock and Roll Hall of Fame thing, but I can see him doing, which he has done, a stripped down acoustic version. He did this, like, benefit thing that was recorded where he's on, like, you know, regular piano, and there's like a stripped down acoustic version of the songs. I could see that. Yeah,
well, I guess he was like, he sat with the Radiohead guys, I guess, the last Hall of Fame, the ones that did attend. I don't think Tom York even attended. But.
Too busy making ballet movie pictures. Whatever he was doing. No soundtrack.
Anima?
Huh? Yeah. Anima.
Yeah.
No, didn't he do the soundtrack for like a ballet movie called like Suspiria?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, he did this whole thing with Paul Thomas Anderson too. That was like a Anima thing. It was called, and it was like there was some ballet in that. So I wasn't sure if that's what you're talking about.
He might have been in a ballet phase at the time.
Yeah. So he was doing ballet, and I guess Trent Reznor was chilling with some of the Radiohead guys, and they were just all kind of like, you know, hucking it up, kind of laughing at the whole process as it was happening. Like certain people who were on stage and just corny, you know, how kind of hokey it all was. So they were all like in agreement pretty much that it was like, yeah, maybe this is BS, you know, maybe this whole Rock and Roll Hall of Fame doesn't really mean squat. But now his one of his biggest influences, The Cure, is
which is interesting,
being inducted. He says that, I guess, I don't know, he's being asked to give the speech for The Cure, I guess, too. And maybe he's just playing to that a little bit. I don't know. But he gave them, like, I basically said that, you know, he wouldn't be where he is without them. So so now he came out and said, let me see.
No, he did give the speech for them.
Oh, he did?
That's why he was there, right? Was that what you're saying?
Okay, wait. They're already inducted.
Yeah, wasn't that last year?
I thought they were on the ballot this year. Who was
you're thinking of Kraftwerk?
You know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of the top 5 bands that I don't get.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of.
I thought he did the speech for them last year.
Did.
Yeah,
okay, so that's where it's all tying.
That's why he was
I don't
there.
know. He might just been there hanging out. Yeah. I mean, like, why wouldn't Trent Reznor be invited?
I hate these things, but I watch them every year from the audience because...
I do see now in the 2019 ceremony. Softened his opinion. Okay. You know, if I read these articles, I'd probably understand it better. But, you know...
We're grade A journalists here.
Oh, yeah. I just read the quotes. So I guess he's a little bit more open to Nine Inch Nails being inducted now because he's seen the process. This year. He saw the process and how it didn't work for some bands that he saw get inducted and they thought it was a BS thing, but then he saw The Cure do it and they actually did it in a correct, right way in what he perceived to be
supposply it was like a really good, you know, show for them doing that. And
I totally missed a lot in this article. There's videos and stuff. Like, oh man. See, this is the research that I do for as producer is panic every time that we're like 10 minutes in.
It's called live research.
To about to start a podcast. I'm like, we need to talk about some news. Trent Reznor. Yeah, okay. This could have been from last year for all I know, but no.
It's live research. That's how we do. You just get to see the creative process. You know, like those videos they show now. Yeah, there's videos where people like to see like how it's made and all that. Like, this is how it's made.
Yeah,
we're doing that like insider look of how our podcast gets
cribs.
It's casted. There's no veneer here. You have looked behind the curtain.
Yes. So that's some news. We have a little quick thing you brought to my attention that the Rob and Rod show.
Yeah.
Our what do you call him?
I call him what was it?
It's Robbie
Bob
Williams.
Bill.
Bob Bill and Rod Stewart.
Yeah.
Apparently performed a duet of It Takes Two, which is...
That is a very hard message to Mr. Jimmy Page.
Yeah.
Because Robbie Williams had been, a.k.a. Bob Bell, was in a feud with Jimmy Page. Something about a swimming pool and playing records too loud and gardens. So they were fighting each other in this very, passive-aggressive way. And I think what must have happened is that Bob Bell decided to get someone else on his side, a.k.a. Rod Stewart, to come in and put a little threat down against Mr. Page. Because
I don't like Jimmy anyway.
He knew Page had Crowley on his side.
Yeah.
He knew the spirit of Aleister Crowley was already on his side, whether he was willing to admit it or not.
Tough battle, yeah.
So he's like, it takes two. We're going to show you. This is the hit 'em up of the aging white rock stars.
That's why I stepped on your flowers.
So
you evil dude. Yeah, so that's something. Maybe I think I read though that Bob Bill is it Bob Bill?
Yeah.
Bobby Bills. He actually won that lawsuit.
He did.
Yeah.
Oh, he
I
did.
think like a few months back.
So maybe Rod Stewart gave him the
pool.
funding for it.
Yeah.
And
Maybe they
like,
sang it like poolside.
they're going to do a music video around that pool. They better.
Maybe they have like concerts there all the time now. Hey, Jimmy!
What do you think of this? When's the last time Led Zeppelin played together?
Oh, man.
I'm sorry, it's because you can't.
Yeah, so that's the news. That's pretty much all we got. Oh, wait. You want to talk a little, some desert sessions?
Oh, yes, desert sessions, of course. So you brought that to my attention.
Yeah.
Now, you had told me about it, I think before this came out, I just somewhere in passing, the Josh Homme, the desert session, somehow you mentioned it. And then now there's this new release that came out.
Yeah, it's something that's been going on that Josh Homme has kind of led the pack on since like 97, which is like Caius days, it was like before Queens of Stone Age, and just tons of different musician friends of his kind of gathered, and I guess it was meant to like be a break in pop music, and they wanted to just have like this ultra creative process of just playing instruments that they've never played before, and just record songs that they wouldn't exactly have thought to, like make songs that they wouldn't,
They're not under the pressure of putting it
on
on an album. They're just like, let's do it for the fun.
Yeah, and like trying, taking risks, like having people like come and collaborate that maybe they wouldn't have ever collaborated with.
Yeah.
We see that a little bit on the new release with Les Claypool's playing bass on a couple tunes. That's not a combination that I would expect to see. There's also Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top, who has collaborated with Queens of Stone Age in the past. He was on a couple albums with them, playing guitar and doing some weird vocals. But I thought it was a really odd vocal that he did in that song. Work Together, I think.
Yeah, some like, she don't like my empty whiskey bottles. I don't like the smell of her hairspray.
Yeah. You don't like my whiskey bottles. It's like this like very strange. It almost sounds like Josh Homme singing. Like it's that like kind of like falsetto, like not fully projecting kind of vocal style. So at first I thought it was him, and then I looked at the track listing. I was like, oh, it's Billy Gibbons. So,
well, then I guess, I'm pretty sure that he sang legs like, she got legs, she knows how to use them, he never begs. People, you forget there was like the, dirty Texas blues ZZ Top, and then there was like the 80s pop. Then there was the 80s pop. Was he always the singer, or did anyone else sing? Or was Frank Beard singing that one? I don't know.
Hard to say.
I don't know.
I know the drummer was probably too high to do anything. He was like a mess. I read like a whole thing about them. Yeah, there's like a documentary that just came out recently that talks about like their whole process of all their years together, and I guess he was like a bad junkie.
Really?
Yeah.
That's why he didn't get the beard memo. The only guy named Beard doesn't have a beard. What's going on?
Yeah, so this was really cool. I enjoyed it. It made me go back. I had heard some of the cuts off like volume 9 and 10, which was like 2003 era. And
yeah, I listened back to that one
that
after,
had some,
and
like,
it was like PJ Harvey was on a lot.
and that was like,
Which was cool.
It was really cool.
I liked it.
I was actually surprised not to hear her on this new one.
Yeah, she's been like a long time collaborator.
I believe so, and I think she was a big part of that volume 9 and 10.
Yeah,
you know, she had a lot of songs on that. So yeah, it was a little unique not to hear her, but it was also just I don't know, man. I mean, he's had everybody. Some of the collaborating artists that have been a part of the Desert Sessions has been, you know, everybody from Nick Oliveri, who was the bassist of Caius and Queens of Stone Age. You had
was he involved with Mars Volta or no?
No. Yeah, people from like Soundgarden, like all those bands. Like, you know, the list is crazy long, but you have everybody, you know, close friends of Josh, who are all incredible musicians.
Yeah.
In their own right, and just making weird music in the desert. And I think it's at this Rancho Luna Studios. I could be mispronouncing that. I don't have it in front of me, but they also make like a tequila.
Oh,
yeah,
I'll have to try that. Cool. Rancho Luna tequila.
And yeah, it's a cool process, man. It seems like it's kind of like a break for him to like just go out there and just not have to deal with like the mainstream music and touring and all that kind of thing. You just like go out and grab his friends and make some weird music.
And that's what I liked about it.
And we benefit from it.
You know? I liked that it was very like eclectic and different. Not one song was like the other. Mm-hmm. One of my favorites was that Chic Text.
Yeah.
It's like
Chic Tweets.
Chic Tweets, yeah.
Chic Tweets.
Such a weird song, but it's almost like if like Talking Heads, like Frank Zappa and like Weird Al like collaborated. This is like this very weird, obviously funny, humorous thing, but it's got this kind of infectious little beat and you know, hook to it. And like I keep returning to that song. It's just because it's sheerly nonsense and silly, and I didn't expect it to come out of that. Like it's just so out of place, but also so in place, because that whole collection, which I won't even call it an album, I call it a collection, is like everything's a little different from each other. And what I liked about it is that fact, and what I feel like rock music has been missing for a long time now is like ideas. Not necessarily good ideas, but just ideas. A lot of rock music, or what at least gets into the mainstream and social consciousness that people know about, is pretty like tried and true or generic, or it sounds a lot like what else is already like popular in the rock genre. There hasn't been much rock stuff in the rock music that mixes it up a lot to where on the same album you're going to hear a lot of different stuff.
Right.
But if you go back to the earlier days of rock, there was a lot more variety song to song, you know. Even though like maybe Pink Floyd had a sound, you know, in Piper at the Gates of Dawn, if you put Astronomy Donomy or Domini, whatever it's pronounced, and then you put on like The Scarecrow, and then Lucifer Sam, and then Bike, like they sound like completely schizophrenic. Well, good reason, but but they, you know, they weren't trying to sound like the same thing. Whereas now, for a long time, it seems like rock bands, they find one thing that, okay, this is our single that we're going to release, and maybe one or two that could be, and then the rest of the album just sounds like worse versions of that thing that was already popular.
Yeah.
And it's just filler. There's no like chances being taken, no experimentation, no let's try this is weird. And this compilation like brought that back to me. It brought back rock experimentation and not trying to fit it into a mold. And that's why what I loved about it is it's not tiresome to listen to.
Yeah. No, it's definitely I totally agree, man. I think it's cool. I'm looking at some of the credits. Move Together was cool. That was written by Billy Gibbons and like performed by, you know,
that one starts off very sparsely. Yeah, almost like a very old like lo-fi beat. Yeah. And then all of a sudden like the guitar and stuff kicks in. I'm like, that's some badass, like the way like some like cymbal crashes and like guitar like
I thought you'd like
strikes
that one
happen at the same time.
We're
it's
both
like,
kind of like working in our own kind of like synth labs recently, so it's like no, I thought you'd like that one because I was like, oh man, that's kind of like what I want to do. So yeah, that's a cool one. Noses and Roses Forever, that's right after that, that's probably my favorite on there. just because that goes through like 3 different songs in one.
Yeah.
It's just like it has that breakdown where he's like the vocals are like overlaying everything and everything's kind of like in the background, and then it like breaks back in and then it breaks out again and goes into like this whole different chord, like complete key change.
Yeah.
And then back to the beginning again. It's like, what's going on? You know, like you're not really able to
ideas, taking chances, experimenting.
Exactly. And it's like there is no like.
Oh, there's the one like the east, the trees.
Far east for the trees.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
There's a really cool melody in there, and then it's like at certain points, like they kind of like hint at it but don't complete it, and I keep feeling dissatisfied. But then when I hear it complete again, I'm like, oh, that's it. It's a very unusual. I chimed accidentally on that one. You got a chime out of me. But there's something like unusual and like very resolving about that melody that when they don't quite do it, I'm like, my ear wants it.
Yeah.
And then when it comes back around, I'm like, yeah, that was it.
No, it's a cool cycle, and Les Claypool is on that. So
Okay.
he played on like the first few songs. It seems like.
So that's what I didn't know when listening to it, and I wasn't about to like research all the credits.
Yeah.
I was just trying to like
I had to
listen a few times through, and like I don't know who was doing what where. There's one song I thought it was Jack White singing, but I don't think it is.
No.
It's somebody that sounds like an early Jack White
that
kind
If
of thing.
You Run song, and apparently that's Libby Grace, who I'm not very familiar
I think that's
with.
the one I was talking about.
She sings the whole thing. That's right after that. Then there's Crucifier. Crucifier is like the punk kind of one.
Yeah.
Is that the one you're talking about? It's like heavier.
No, it's one that's not. It's like a sweeter kind of voice, and I thought it was a man singing. It sounded like a Jack White early days.
Crucifier is that's a little bit of a harder one.
Maybe.
But that's a man singing that. Yeah, and that's Michael Kerr from it's that band that we both know.
But whatever it was, I was like, it sounded like a little bit like Jack White, but like not quite. I'm like, it sounds like
Royal Blood. He sings for Royal Blood.
Oh.
You know that band Royal Blood?
Yeah, I do. Like there's just 2 of them.
Yeah.
Bass and drums. He's the bass player
and
singer. Bass player, singer.
So he sings that song.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Well, they always had a very White Stripesy sound.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's. I don't know if that's even the one you're talking about.
I'm not sure. I'd have to.
There's Chic Tweets, which
that
is...
That one's great. That one's... If you listen to no song in this album but that one, like, please check that out. It'll make you
funny.
laugh.
It's
just
you
like,
can hear them laughing while they make it. The lyrics are hilarious. Just sent you Chic Tweets unanswered for weeks. I want to take peeks in those cheeks.
It's just like... I saw it as like a commentary on, like, social media stuff.
Yeah.
You know, of all these, like, weird things.
I sent you this hot facts, and you gave me the axe. It's in like this weird accent, like it's very funny.
Beat me with the holes, get me in this pose, or that pose. We'll see how it goes. But I think that guy really might have that's his accent. Like I don't think that's a fake accent.
Yeah,
whoever it is, because it doesn't sound like a put-on accent. Like I think that's how that person actually.
It says music by Matt Berry, Stella Mozgawa, and Josh Homme.
But who's the lyricist, the vocalist?
All the lyrics were written by Tornst Hulfpit.
Yeah, that's a real accent.
Except inner monologue written by Matt Berry.
It was him saying, "Oh no, I've gotten into a bad situation. I've played very bad organ. I don't know how to get out. I can't see the door," or something like that. But it also had a weird, like, nostalgic reminiscence to me of that, like, CKY rap where like Brandon DiCamillo's, is that him? He's doing
try my dental towel.
Yeah, probably not very well.
Think you kick me? I can kick you way up into a tree.
Watch this, I can tiptoe while you take a piss. Spy on you while your little boy shits.
Oh man, CKY.
Yeah,
great.
so there's something about it. It seemed like that kind of like just humorous, goofy stuff that was probably done, off the cuff. I don't know. But it's something about it made me think of that. But there's a catchy little thing in there. It's very...
It's definitely something that everybody should check out.
Yeah, check out the thing.
It's got a little bit of something for everybody. It's
not
all
fun.
It's fun.
Yeah, that's what I liked most about it. Is it was fun, but also a lot of ideas. And I think rock needs that. There needs to be more ideas, and not just like trying to sound like, old school bands. It's like, well, they already did it better. So let's get daring again. So
that's about it. We'll have our guest Mike Cesario on.
Yeah,
he can tell us that. Hopefully, we've been pronouncing his name right or wrong, but
we'll get him on soon. So until then, hang tight. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Next Stage, everyone. Heard our music news earlier. Our guest has arrived. We got Michael Patrick Cesario. Is that pronounced correctly?
Yeah, that's good.
All right, we're debating of like how to pronounce the last name, and
There's
we didn't
many
wanna...
ways.
What are some of the other alternate pronunciations?
Cesario. I get a lot of that. The Italians love Cesario.
Cesario.
Yeah, but that's a little like
Cesario?
Yeah. Yeah, I get Caesar.
Caesar. Ooh, that's kind of a good stage name.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Until
Mikey
you get
Caesar.
stabbed in the back, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
You just can't have a Brutus in your band.
Well, that's the thing about Brutus.
He sneaks in whether
Yeah.
he's invited or not.
Exactly.
Hey guys, you want to jam?
Yeah.
That's a new name for like an interloper who like wants to jam when you don't want to. It's like, come on, Brutus, get out of here.
Yeah, Brutus. Yeah, he's trying to like ruin the whole jam vibe.
The Ides of March are too soon. Come on.
Let's all turn on the drummer. Make him feel uncomfortable until he leaves.
Carve
It's like
drum
getting
stick into
musically
a
stabbed
shiv.
in the back, right? You get like isolated by the whole band. They're like, you're not playing it the way we want it.
You need a metronome.
Yeah, they don't tell you how to fix it.
And that's done. So anyway,
Sorry.
now that we've... No, this is great. This is probably the best way to start an episode.
I know, right?
Is with a very, Shakespearean references so people know we're intellectuals. We know what we're
yes.
talking about here. So from now on, it's going to be pure gold. We know what we're talking about.
Yes.
So, what's up, man? What's the music project that led you here? Tip is the
I'm
music
here
I
for
was
Tip.
hearing.
Yeah, we're probably gonna end up talking about a bunch of stuff.
We should.
We've already been talking a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely gonna talk about Tip today. We just released the single on Saturday. We've been working on this album for over a year now, recording. Now we're in the mixing phase, which is exciting. And actually getting music out, which has like been a long time coming. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited to be here. I'm excited to start getting it out there and letting people hear what we've been like, really grinding away with.
It's been incubating for a while.
Yeah, seriously, the songs have been around for years, and it's finally the right circumstances, and we have the right time and kind of approach to be able to really give it justice. So
Nice. That's a good feeling, man, to know that
yeah.
you put the time in and suddenly you're going to be like unleashing this upon the public.
yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
When
We
you
had
do
a
your
nice-
homework, it always feels good when you do your homework. You can go to school, you're like, got it, teacher.
Yeah,
Here it
exactly.
is.
You're like, listen,
And it's an A.
I actually paid attention in class this week, and this homework I'm not even worried about.
You write your own A at the top.
Yeah, exactly. You
know,
could
with the red
self-grade it with a pen. Yeah. It's funny.
So, Tip, what's the band? I'd heard the EP that was 2017 that was released.
Yeah, I guess. Was it? Or was it 20?
Well, you would know better than I.
guess I
I was
should know
listening on
that, right?
Spotify, so Tip is on Spotify
I
if you want to check it out.
2018.
2018.
We released an EP in April that was recorded on one day in February.
Wow.
Yeah, we
That's
had
a quick
couple
turnaround.
songs. Yeah, we had a couple songs, 6 songs that we wanted to. We knew we could do live, and we had been playing a lot together live a lot, and these are the songs that we've been really slamming. So we decided just to put them all down at once and get it out there while we were still working on getting a more of a handle on the more serious music that we had in our pocket. So
Yeah.
that kind of bridged us over while we were able to record and focus on stuff, and people kept stopped bothering us for a minute about where our music was and
Yeah,
where
you
they
need
can
something to
hear it.
direct
Yeah.
people to,
Right. So we finally got in the studio in September and started on the new record, which is going to be called Full Swing.
Full swing. Okay.
Yeah, and then the new single Canadian Coins just came out.
Yes,
And
which is a
it's-
great
yeah.
tune, man.
Thank you.
It's really
Appreciate
good.
it. Yeah.
And it's
All
definitely, I can see what you mean between, the first offering, as you said, it was recorded all in one day, and then this newer one, it's a jump up in quality. I can hear it. You know, it's just the arrangement and the sound quality in general. Everything
Absolutely.
is like, a lot more.
Yeah.
Professional on this
definitely-
one, which is cool to
Yeah.
see the growth of the music that quickly.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad you guys heard it and enjoyed it because that's what it's all about. But we really had that opportunity to we recorded with Eureka Audio, who's in New Haven. Mm-hmm. Really great guys, longtime friends of mine, and they just really get our music. They know what we're doing. And my buddy Tom has recorded us since we started recording music. He was the guy.
So who's the band? Let's break down who's in the band, who plays what, what's the lineup?
Cool. So it's a 4-piece. I split duties on drums with the other frontman, Connor. So he and I met in college, we were both drummers in the pep band, and we
What's the pep band?
Oh, we played like home games, basketball games with like a brass band, big brass band, and we had these 2 drum sets that would face each other, and we would interlock the bass drums.
King Gizzard.
Oh yeah, dude, exactly. Well, I think I love them so much, and we would just thrash out the way that they did, pretty much. And we really had a good time with that, and that's actually how we met our bass player too. He didn't go to Siena, but he went to the practice once because he lived in the area, and we were like, "Who is this guy?" He had neon strings on his bass, and he was like flying around. Yeah, and it turns out he had never played with anyone, and he just like he picked up his dad's bass and sat around for a couple months and like played it nonstop and got really good, and it helped that he was into funk music and like Jamiroquai, and so he really got the groove quickly. Nice. So we got together with him like.
And what's his name?
Chris.
Yeah,
Chris on bass. Connor plays guitar. He sings his own songs, and I sing my own songs and play guitar on those.
So you got 2 songwriters, 2 singers in the band.
Yeah. Well, Chris writes songs too. Yeah.
Okay, so everyone's writing songs.
Everyone's writing songs, and then we got Connor's twin brother involved now, who also plays guitar.
Is it identical twin?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you can do like weird like
Absolutely.
stage games of like who is it? No, it's the same guy, is it?
Mm-hmm.
So you've got you play drums primarily, or and then
I'd say it's like 65-35.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Chris is on bass.
Chris is on bass.
Connor's singing, playing guitar.
Yep.
And his
brother Terrence plays the lead. Yeah.
Plays lead, and does he sing as well?
He's been stepping it up. He's been doing some backups. Yeah.
Okay.
He's really testing the pipes out.
Nice.
We know he can sing because Connor can sing. So there's no running away from it.
And it's supposedly in families, people who are related, there's like when they harmonize, like the frequencies like cancel out nicely to where they supposedly sound really good together.
I can definitely confirm some of that.
They harmonize well
good
together.
Intuition together. Yeah, their guitar playing is actually some of the most beautiful stuff. I mean, you've heard it on the song.
Yeah.
The way they write songs, it's like. I don't even know if they tell each other what they're doing,
You got that twins language, yeah.
It's like, hey, what about this? And they're like, ooh, this. And it's just like one thing. It's like hard to even distinguish sometimes who's playing what.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you've got twins in the band. Is it like a Nelson situation? They got like long blonde hair?
No. That would be funny though.
You do a Nelson cover one time.
Yeah.
Or just don't. And don't. I got bad suggestions.
Probably yeah.
So you guys, when did you all get together as Tip? Well, how did that happen? You said the pet band. Is that like marching band or not really?
Nah, in the bleachers, front row.
Okay.
And like the Times Union Center up in Albany, we would be up there.
So that's where you met Chris, the bass player.
Yeah.
And Connor, he was.
Connor was the other drummer.
The other drummer. Now
Chris
he's
came
singing.
to one practice, and then we drafted him back senior year, and he played bass with the pep band senior year.
Nice.
But he definitely didn't go to school with us.
Oh, you're saying pep band, P-E-P?
P-E-P, yeah.
Oh, they said pet, P-E-T.
No, P-E-P. Pep.
I'm like saying it wrong the whole time.
Yeah, we're doing
pep. Oh, okay, pep
music.
people up.
Yeah, with
Oh, dude,
with the fans and the
I was
stands,
misunderstanding it the whole time. It's like pet band. Like, what's that? Okay, so you guys, that's where the core of Tip started.
Yeah, and then me and Chris started a party band. So we were playing parties on weekends at school, on campus houses basically. And one of the houses we played in was called the Equinox House. So we were the Equinox House Band for like a year.
Nice.
Until we put out our first record, and then we switched our name to Tip.
And was that first recording you're talking about the one that's on Spotify, or was there something before that?
No, we had some early demos that we did in New Paltz. Mm-hmm. The songs actually didn't even come together until like the weekend we recorded it. Yeah. But we just knew that we wanted to do that. So we kind of like practiced for like 1 week, and we were like, all right, we'll see you there. And we just kind of met up and threw together a bunch of demos so we can like book gigs with it. And we all knew that we were kind of graduating and like things were going to change. So we just wanted to get it done.
Preserve what it was.
Yeah. So we did that. And then we were able to record a more legit album the following spring.
You said it was March, right? That you record, or February.
We have another album actually before the one on Spotify. Yeah.
Oh, so there's 2 previous Tip albums.
There's a whole like 10-track album on Bandcamp.
Okay.
Called Say It Twice, and that's the first album we did with the Eureka Audio guys, Tom Stringer and Jesse LeBranch. Yeah.
Okay, and that's who's been recording
ever since.
Ever since.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing that you got when you guys first got together, you said you went into the studio to record it. Was it just based on, okay, we've been doing some house parties, people like what we're doing, we got to get something for the people to take home at the end of the night and listen to?
We were all original artists, and we were just doing this because it's what we wanted to be doing at parties instead of like being like the rest of people and listening to like trap music and stuff. We were like, this sucks, let's play good music. And it worked. So like everyone was like, hell yeah. So then when we started writing songs, we were like playing them live, and then we were like, we have to record them. It's the next step, natural progression. And it helped us tighten up too, because it gave us a reason to like solidify what we were doing and like kind of like commit to each other's songs and styles a little bit more.
Well, yeah, when you put something down, then you can listen back to it as a reference. Because if you're writing a song, you might think, well, how did that part go? Like, what did you do there? And you can kind of get...
You hear how it used to be. And, like, this is the way that we did it. And then you hear the next stuff, and you're like, wow, like, that's a little bit different and better. And it's really cool to hear those songs as time goes on. And you really, like, can hear where your influences were at the time and, like, how that's shaped what you become instead of just leaving the old songs and being like, we'll write better ones and record those.
Yeah.
I feel like it's good to make a timestamp.
Right.
Especially in the early stages of a band like that.
To see where you then progress to. You can see like, here's where everyone starts somewhere.
Right. You got to start off with like a really terrible, poorly recorded,
Are you trying
album.
to like back talk your like original recordings and say like, don't really go to the Bandcamp? Is that what you're doing here?
I'm trash talking my own mixing job.
Let's see, you recorded the first thing.
I mixed it.
Yeah. And how did that work? Was it like you had the tracks recorded somewhere else?
Yeah, my buddy recorded us in his attic in New Paltz.
Nice.
Over the course of like 2 days.
That's a good way to do it.
Drums and bass one day, guitars and vocals the next day.
What time of year was it? Were you freezing or sweating?
I think I was cold. It was like February or March or something like that. Yeah.
So you had that like...
I remember wearing a jacket on the drum kit.
Yeah. So that had to be. Yeah. You wouldn't be wearing a jacket on the drum kit in the summer unless you were trying to lose a lot of weight, which you obviously don't need to.
Yeah. But it's, dude, I'm really excited for this stuff. It's going to be really fun. And we're going to be coming around the area too. Like we're starting to book some really cool shows and like get out there a little, like we had a cool show on Saturday, kind of releasing the album. You guys ever been to like Peekskill area?
Yeah. My dad was actually born and raised there.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
They have, like the Charles Point, like the marina?
Yeah.
They have this like crazy like entertainment center there now.
Okay.
We played there on Saturday. It's like an arcade and like an indoor-outdoor bar.
Yeah,
and,
I've seen some of that.
Yeah. And that was like a really fun show. And it was like the day we released the single and stuff, and like we had a blast with it. We played for like 3 hours.
This was for Canadian Coins, the release?
Exactly.
And how'd that show come about? Who else was playing? Like, what was the deal with that?
I had some friends play with us from the band Ronald Reggae. I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
I have not. Now we have.
Yeah, they're great. You should check them out. They're like
cool name.
Yeah, they're sick. Yeah. They're a very like Grateful Dead-y type of jam band. Simon plays keyboards and sings. And we got about half the band to come and open for us.
Oh, sick.
So it was Simon on keys, the guitar player, and the drummer. And they did like a 45-minute set, and then we played after them.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so were you playing songs that are going to be released, like, you said Canadian Coins is the first single. Were you playing like the rest of that material, or were you doing some of the older stuff too?
Yeah, we've been playing. So one of the things, like I was saying about like having the old material, is that we always try and recycle it and like keep it part of our stuff. Because if there's a couple good songs that were poorly recorded, they could still sound really cool live. And like if you change them up a little and like fix what was wrong with them, there's nothing wrong with that. And like we have a big catalog now of all these songs, so we fill like 2 hours with original music and without a problem.
That's great.
That's great. Yeah, to have that to
we still
pull
had
from.
some songs left over that we were like, we don't feel comfortable playing them, and it's really cool to have that. And like they were like, keep playing, and we had more songs to play.
Hey, let's do this one. Hey, you guys remember the changes? Sure. Yeah, we can do that.
Definitely,
and then you're like, that one was actually pretty good. We should bring that back.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what happens. Someone will play it like at practice and be like, oh, remember that? And we'll be like, I mean, we could do that. Yeah. We'll just change the whole vibe of the song.
Someone starts it off, and then everyone follows in. Like, it's the best we've ever played that.
Yeah, exactly.
So going back to earlier days, you were talking about, getting together and gelling and meshing well and talking about influences. So like, what were the influences in this band, or who was influenced by what type of music? Because I'll let you say first, because I got certain vibes in listening that I want to hold until you tell me where you guys
I'd say
came
we all had wildly different styles when we started. We had an old guitar player too who was really had like a different sound. But when Connor and I first started getting together, we were listening to like prog rock and like kind of heavier stuff. And I was like on the tail end of like my post rock phase, so I was playing loud stuff.
What do you call prog? Would you mean, is that like Rush and Dream Theater, or
like more
Jethro Tull, or
more Dream Theater, but kind of like
King
more
Crimson?
like King Crimson, and
Okay.
like the kind of like 70s like Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and like
Nice.
he was vibing out to like the Caius and like Queens of the Stone Age, and he got me really into that stuff. I got him into some of my like weird indie music that I was listening to, like who can I pull out? Do you guys know Menomina? You ever heard of them?
No.
They're one of my old favorite bands of all time.
And you
They're
call
great.
them post rock or indie?
No, they're like an indie band, but
Not that genres are that like
Yeah.
exclusive anyway.
Yeah, I used to push them on my friends. I remember, but like we both bonded over Built to Spill.
Okay,
It was
I
like
know
a
that.
huge influence. And then when Chris started getting involved more, we were into like the party music, so like funk and stuff like that. And then we kind of all bonded over Radiohead was like a big one.
Yeah.
That was like when we got there and
hear
like we
that.
were all like deep in our Radiohead phase. It was like, okay, I think this is kind of what we want to do. Connor's always written music that has sounded up that vein. Like he writes mysterious lyrics and like he wrote this song Canadian Coins.
Yeah, I was
got,
trying
like,
to
a
figure out what
weird-
it's about, and I don't know yet.
Dude,
Because it's
I'm
like,
in the band and I don't even know the words to the song until he puts them on Bandcamp.
okay, so it's like a surprise to you, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, that's the lyrics.
Right.
Because I think of like, Canadian Coins is like the thing that like you don't want to get as change in
Yeah.
our
well,
country. It's like, oh, I got a Canadian quarter.
I
don't
think
need
it's
that.
about my birthday 2 years ago.
Oh.
We went to Canada. And it was like we had this crazy weekend in Montreal.
Is this like the songmeanings.com version?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm trying to piece it together still, but this is what I gather. And we all had a bunch of loose change because they have like $5 coins and like $2 coins and stuff, and the bank wouldn't exchange them when we got home. So I think it's like about that, like having like money that's useless and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept. It's
that's
like,
the first line, like short-lived use, like Canadian coins.
oh, short-lived use. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
But you wouldn't know that unless I spelled it out for you.
No, I wouldn't have.
Right.
That's what's cool about it.
That's mysterious.
Yeah.
Yeah, lyrics that are too obvious to me are boring.
Yeah.
So it's cool
Honestly,
to have ones.
Connor's been a huge influence on me, like songwriting-wise.
Yeah.
Because I only started playing guitar when we lived together at school. So I like every song that I wrote, I would like wing it by him.
Bounce it off.
Yeah, I'd be like, "What do you think about this?" And he'd be like, "That's cool. Like, put that part in 7."
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "All right, I'll do that."
That's a great writing dynamic to have somebody to bounce ideas off of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you mentioned Soundgarden. Did
I
you
love
mention
Soundgarden.
as an influence?
Yeah,
Because
well,
apparently-
I didn't, but I like them a lot.
Oh, I didn't know if you mentioned them back earlier on. But apparently Chris Cornell lived with Andy Wood, who was from Mudhoney, and they lived together,
Okay.
in an apartment. And they had this challenge, like, let's write a song every day.
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
As
Yeah.
stupid or good as it was, they just bounced their songs off each other.
Yeah, exactly.
And it helped them both. So what
Yeah.
you're saying about bouncing it off somebody else probably helped the whole process.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish I'd lived with like a famous musician.
Well, hey man, the book's yet to be written.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
sell
that's
yourself
true.
short
No.
too soon. You're no Canadian coin yet.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, it was big having him around just to like, cause I always respected the way he played guitar, and he always respected the way I played drums, I think.
Yeah.
So like we really bounced off each other well, and
Do you think that helped that he was a drummer also who was approaching guitar, and you were a
yeah.
drummer approaching guitar?
yeah.
What was that like for you? Had you played any other stringed or melodic instruments before?
Not really.
Yeah. So drums, you're a percussion.
Yeah.
Do you call yourself a drummer or a percussionist? Some people are particular.
I do both.
Yeah.
But
what do you call a distinction?
That's drums.
Yeah.
percussion is probably like hands, using your hands.
So why does Carter
like
Beaufort
not-
from Dave Matthews call himself a percussionist?
Because
He's pretentious?
I don't want to say anything. Because, I mean, you can call yourself a percussionist. It's fine. Percussion is more with your arms and hands, in my opinion.
Okay.
Although that's not to exclude, like, if you're using like a tambourine with your foot or something like that. But I would consider if you're sitting and you have a bass drum, you're playing drums.
What if you're standing up like the guy from the Stray Cats?
Then you're playing percussion. I would call that percussion.
So it's about the posture. It's not about the actual pieces.
But I'm hesitant about that because there's guys that can play like samba grooves with their feet that are like, that's percussion. Like they're playing cowbell with their left foot and they're playing a kick pattern with their right foot and then 2 different patterns with their hands. That's percussion. That's not a drum pattern. That's not, you're listening to John Bonham and you get that, you know? I'd say I play drums.
Okay, cool. So drummer. So going from being a drummer to picking up a melodic stringed instrument, like what did that change? Did that change anything for you in the way you thought about music and how you were?
Yeah, definitely.
playing?
It helped me write songs so much easier. That's really why I did it. Because I was just like, I wanted to write songs so bad. I knew that I could do it, but I just didn't have the knowledge of how to communicate it. You know, I could play a cool beat on the drums and know what I want to sing, or I know what I want to hear, but then you're just sitting there for 2 hours going, play different chords.
Yeah.
Or like, that's not the right note. And they're like, I don't know what you mean, you know?
You had no language.
Yeah, so if I could just play it or show them, even if I couldn't like play it as well as them, I could teach them how to play it.
Yeah, you can hit the right fret.
Right.
It goes like
yeah,
da,
it's this fret.
da,
Yeah, exactly.
da,
This is
da,
the hand
da.
posture, or this is like, you know, the rough idea.
Yeah, even if you just got the root, at
Yeah.
least they can flesh out the chord around it.
Yeah. There's a couple of Chris's songs, our bass player, that Connor sings.
Yeah?
Yeah, because he just sings it better.
Right. Okay, so Chris wrote it.
Chris wrote it, Connor learned it, and then Chris went back to the bass, and he, you know.
Oh,
plays
so
it back
he
there.
plays guitar as well. I guess a lot of
Yeah.
bass players
Yeah,
do.
he
Doesn't
plays.
seem
Yeah.
to be a lot of ego in the band.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been doing it together for a while, so it's like it's all of our thing at this point, I think.
That's really cool.
And it helps that we don't have one person writing all the songs. Like I write my songs and they play them because Connor wants to play drums,
Yeah.
you know. And
Do you switch live?
yeah,
Oh, that's so cool.
we actually this is cool. On the EP, the last song on the EP from last year, Connor starts on drums. It's I don't know if you guys listen to the whole thing, but it's the last track. It's like a funk track.
Is that the one that's kind of a longer one? Raccoon something?
Oh no, that's Thievius.
Devious
It's called Said the Lady.
Okay, so I thought Thievius Raccoonus was the last one, no?
You're right. You guys know my record.
How do I know better than you?
But Connor and I switch in the middle of the song. I'm
Okay.
standing behind him in the studio while he's playing the first half of the song. And his guitar is over in the middle of the studio with the volume turned down.
Didn't have the tuning pedal for that
Not
one.
yet. See, that's what I'm saying. That's the pro move. If we had the tuning pedal, the signal would have been dead. Luckily, we were recording it, so we could cut it. But then, in the middle of the song, there's a little guitar break, and he jumps up. I grab the sticks, sit down, and he runs over to the guitar, and then I fill it in, and you could hear the change in style in the middle of the song.
Did he do like a throw in the air and you jumped and grabbed them like
Nah.
like epic Tommy Lee style, like flip it up, then you
That would be funny.
only if you were filming it you would have done
That's what we would
you
do in
would have
pep
done.
band.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what you would've done.
that's a pep band thing.
No, he would have bounced them off the snare. Boom.
Right,
They would
boom.
have flipped.
I
He would
catch
have
'em,
caught him,
yeah.
jumped in.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
just right
Uh-huh.
into it.
He actually gave me one stick, and I started playing it, and then he got up.
Oh, you did like one
Yeah.
arm at a time. You did like the double drumming, like, hey,
Yeah.
where's my other arm? I don't know.
That's funny. I would not trust us to do that in a live situation.
You ever seen those people that like play the guitar where one person's strumming, one person's like picking, and one person's like tapping or whatever?
Yeah.
There's like 3 people on like one guitar.
Dude, there's a great video of
it's like a band.
Stevie
that
Ray
does
Vaughan
that.
doing it with his brother, Jimmy Ray Vaughan.
Really?
Yeah, it's so cool.
Oh
They're
man,
like,
I would
he's-
love to see that.
Jimmy's playing this thing, and then he just comes out behind him and like grabs it. And then like he goes up here, and then he's playing the low notes.
Show you how it's done, little brother.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
But I'm
older
more
brother.
famous.
I know he's older too. That's the bummer.
You said I'd never be as good as you.
Yeah. Even before you were
Where are
born.
the Thunderbirds now? Double Trouble's coming.
Who's still alive now?
Bowie asked me to play with him, and I said no. Has Bowie ever asked you to play with him?
He said yes, and then he quit. To be fair, he was definitely on a record.
Yeah.
He played for Les Dance, but he wouldn't go on tour with him.
Oh, okay.
Because he wanted him to go on tour. He said, I don't tour without Double Trouble. I was like, wow. You said no to Bowie.
Dude, imagine being in double trouble.
Yeah,
You're like, well, now we can't ever hang out with David Bowie.
Thanks, Stevie.
It's like you run into him at a party.
Tommy Shannon cannot hang out with David
It's
Bowie.
like, oh, I can't go to that party. I heard Bowie's gonna be there. You know, what Stevie did
cast
to
a
him?
spell on me.
Yeah, literally. He'll be
Sick Brian Eno's asteroid on you.
what was that movie?
Oh, you don't know about that,
That
do
he
you?
was in Labyrinth?
Yeah.
When he's like
You
the-
remind me of the Babe. What Babe?
Yeah,
The Babe
there
with Pow. Oh, man, I love that movie. I've seen it too many times, but not enough.
He's in another movie too, isn't he?
He was like the magician in, what was that movie with Christian Bale where he's like killing himself, his
The
twin?
Illusionist or something
Yeah,
like
with
that?
twins. Again, you got twins.
Love
that
that
was twins.
movie, dude. That's great.
But he was like, he was playing Nikola Tesla, right?
You just spoiled it for anyone watching this podcast.
Come on, if you haven't seen it. All right. This isn't a new movie.
Yeah, it's true. It's old.
Christian Bale kills his twin every night. He has his cloning machine. That's his trick. The guy
the
crushed
trick.
a bird, and that was it.
Yeah, what a bummer. Yeah, that's one of my all-time favorite movies.
It's a good one. And
I
he
just
plays.
love me some twins, you know?
Yeah, see, and it's in the band. You know,
That's where it's at. I wish I had a twin.
how many twin bands are there out there? Not many. I can't think of many other.
Twins. I can't think of any twins. I know some brother and sister bands.
Yeah.
Like,
There's a fake one called the White Stripes where they pretended to be brother and sister. Really, they were
Sister
married.
Sparrow's brothers in the band. Who else is a fan? Oh, Robert Randolph. I saw them like a couple months ago. I didn't realize they're actually family. They're like full on. There's like 6 of them that are all like related.
They're incredible.
Yeah.
All of them.
And then there's like one white dude playing guitar in the back, and you're like, you're not related to them.
I think Schmeens used to play with him from
Really?
Lettuce.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, Smirnoff?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep.
I mean, they're dope.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They're a big band.
So, as far as what's going on, future-wise with Tips, so you got the new. Is it going to be a album, an EP? Like, what are you going to call the new
It's
thing?
going to be a full-length album.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you gonna release it like singles at a time, or do like a few teaser singles, then the
So-
whole thing? Like, what's the plan
I'll give you
for
the
how
rundown.
this?
I'll give you the rundown. Here's how
How's
it's
this
going to
gonna
work.
go?
So we've been in the studio for a year.
Spoiler alert! If you don't know,
Yeah,
he's
this
got
is-
a twin. He's gonna kill him.
These are
And-
the facts. Oh my gosh. Jack does not get on the raft at the end of Titanic.
No, I've never seen it. I really haven't.
I don't think I've seen the whole movie either, but I feel like everyone knows that. Here's how it's going to go. We got the single out. That was step 1. We got another single coming out, Chris's single.
Yeah.
That's going to come out in December. So we have...
Are we allowed to know the name, or it's gonna be secret? You don't have to give any spoilers away. You don't have to ruin the. There's gonna be some kind of like guess the name of our next single, and you get a free copy, sort of thing.
It wasn't discussed, but
right,
I guess we'll just hold it, right?
Yeah.
All
I
right.
need to know. I don't need to know.
Yeah.
Need to know basis.
We got
We'll
another
keep it.
single coming in December.
Don't ask, don't tell.
We got another release show for that single. It's going to be out in Boston.
Okay.
That's where the twins live. So we're kind of spread out throughout New York, Connecticut,
Nice
and
practice
Boston.
work.
Good one.
You FaceTime?
Yeah, that would be great. We had a great practice on Saturday. We practice like day of. We get
Yeah.
out there. We know what we're going to play. We
Wow.
run through what we need to, and then we do it.
That is impressive.
Yeah, it's good though.
So that must mean you're all are nasty musicians to be able to know exactly.
We know each other's songs.
Yeah, you know it well enough.
Yeah, we know how to play our music pretty well.
Well, you did the workshopping in the early days, so you know.
Yeah, we know each other's styles. We communicate well. So we got a great show for that.
Boston, where's that going to
Boston,
be?
that's at Midway Cafe.
Midway Cafe. What's the date so people can go see it if they
Oh
want
yeah,
to?
well first if you're in Boston, you should be coming to November 17th, which is Sunday.
Okay.
We're playing with the Seth Freeman Band at Thunder Road.
Thunder.
I'm actually going to be in Boston on the 16th.
Bro, you should stay an extra
Maybe
day.
I should stay.
You
Check
should.
it out.
I'll tell you why, because
It's
it's
a
going to
live
be a
show.
great
This
show.
thing's like, I don't know, flashing in and
We're
out.
playing with Seth Freeman Band, who's the guitar player with Carl Benson's Tiny Universe.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
and a great friend of mine, Tim Stout, who's a solo looper guy. You guys should get him on the podcast.
Okay.
Actually,
Cool. Tim Stout, come on.
he's a great guy. He loves his Paisley.
Yeah, look at that. All right. We'll get along.
He's doing
Maybe
his
we'll
Lupa
trade
stuff.
shirts.
Yeah. I'd love to see
If you
that.
come, bring a shirt. I'll give you one of mine. That'll be
Shout
our
it out.
payoff.
That's going to be a really good show, though, November 17th, Thunder Road. I'll see Jesse there. It's going to be good.
Yeah, maybe you can do a little truck talk. We do a little interview in the truck. We've started trying that out.
That would be
on,
excellent. You could
like
get the whole
live
band.
after the show. Yeah.
Get the whole band on that. We could even do it the day of or something like that.
Don't hold me to it.
Yeah.
I'm making a lot of plans on his account.
That's the resistance bell. December 7th is at Midway Cafe.
Midway Cafe. So that's
Yeah.
going to be after the next single that comes out, which is Chris's song that we can't know the name of.
Yes.
All right.
It's called Glow Slowly.
Oh, my ears! Oh, I was going to guess.
Great.
I'll bleep that out.
It's going to be a great pop
I was
hit.
going to guess Fade Quickly.
And then the rest of the album drops as soon as we're done mixing it.
Yeah?
Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be a really good time, and we're gonna be in and around, playing up and down Connecticut, Boston, New York, Pennsylvania.
Looping the East Coast.
Absolutely. Yeah, we got Catterskill Music and Arts Festival, which is in August. That's a festival that I help run, and we've played every year since it started.
Nice.
Great bands like
Good
Fiction
festival.
actually plays it, and like a bunch of great bands from this area and all over the tri-state area. So you'll be seeing us.
So you guys have a few dates already booked. Some in the long future. Next summer. You've got the release coming out. So you're gearing up towards getting
Getting it
people
hyped
out
up,
there.
letting people know.
So now here comes some of the more direct personal questions. What do you want your music to do?
I want it to definitely inspire people. I want it to make people want to play music, and I want it to make people like think and like feel something, just anything. It doesn't have to
Doesn't
be
matter what it is.
Doesn't have to be what I intended it to be, but like as long as they like it and they've like felt something from it, like whether it's even if it's like humor or like like sadness or like the deep loneliness or like extreme comfort. Or even just like moderate tiredness. That's cool.
Yeah, communicating something about the human experience.
Yeah, literally anything. It could be like something so stupid. Yeah. Or it can make you feel like, you're not that bad, You're like, all right, this guy sucks. I'm not that bad.
So you want a human reaction?
Anything, man.
So
you might think it's the greatest thing that you've ever heard in your life. You know what I mean? And that's dope too.
So the music that you like what has it done for you? I don't want to have to say give me an example or whatever, but like say like given your life as a whole, as much as you want to think about it, what has music done for you in your life that you want?
It gets me excited. Like every time I hear music that I like, that's new, that I enjoy, it just gets like a physical and like a real like mental reaction out of me. Like I can't focus on anything except for it, or I'll just be thinking about how the artist delivered the message or something like that. Like I've been listening to this girl, Madison Cunningham, who's just like an incredible songwriter. And I can't stop listening to her because the way that she translates what she's going through is like really unique. And I've never heard anything like it. And it's just exciting. It's not the same music that I play, but it's like just really exciting and like it's a little different and it doesn't have it's not like they're trying to be something. And like when I write music, I feel like whatever comes out of me is like my songs.
Yeah.
So
do you approach it in the way of you let whatever's coming out of you flow, or do you have an idea going into it? You want to write a song about a certain thing or in a certain way?
Usually just comes out.
Yeah.
I write a lot of music just straight up all at once.
So you're opening the gates whenever comes out.
But there's definitely been a few songs, even some good ones, that have come from like picking a concept.
Yeah.
And just sticking to it and finding a way to make it work. But that's more of an exercise, I think, than
what do you think
like
the trade-offs are when you choose a topic versus when you let it flow? Is there trade-offs? Is one better than the other? What do you notice?
It's a way different form of expression. when you're picking a topic or you're approaching music with borders, let's say, like even if it's the way you record it or the way you're making it, like if I was to try and write a song on a keyboard, it would be a way different song than I would write on a guitar. So like the process of picking a topic and writing about that changes the way that you're gonna come up with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes I go to write songs and I can't write anything. You know, but if you have something that you're gonna write about, that makes it a little easier, and vice versa. If you just come out of the gate, you know, if I just have a song that I need to write, and I'll sing it out my voice memo and go home and figure out the chords, and then it's done. I just have this new song. It's just a whole different mental process, you know.
Okay, so they're kind of two approaches.
Yeah, I would say so.
And they just lead to different ends.
It's great when you get stuck to try to just like pick a way to write a song.
Yeah.
That's one of the things actually that we all bonded on over Radiohead was about the way that they wrote songs, because they have a lot of songs that sound like they wrote them by themselves and then brought it together. But there's some songs that you can tell, like Tom York would like take a bunch of lyrics, right? Write a bunch of lyrics, cut up each line, put it together, and then just pull them out and put an order together.
The cut-up method.
Lines,
David
yeah.
Bowie did that from inspired by William Burroughs.
Right. So it's like that's an exercise, and it can make you write a song that you would never be able to write before.
Yeah.
So I think they're both valuable.
So you like the idea that you can never really get stuck.
Yeah. If you're stuck doing it one way, do it a different way.
Yeah.
And then you'll end up going back to the way you did it with a little broader image or something like that. Like, I think I play drums differently now because of the way I write songs.
That's what I was wondering, if playing guitar made you play drums differently.
Definitely.
Do you listen differently?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
What have you noticed that you pay attention to differently? Or is it just a vibe?
It's like the groove is a little steadier now. Mm-hmm. It's a little more relaxed and less like, I would say maybe anxious or confused.
So is it because you're thinking about the other instruments and not just playing the drums?
As soon as you play guitar with a drummer that's not you, it just sounds, you just get it. You're like, I get it. Like, now I know why guitarists have been frustrated with me for every single problem of all time, and I just knew how to fix it immediately.
Oh, that's
and
great.
It was really helpful. And same with bass. The more I play bass, I'm like, this helps so much with learning how to play drums and like play guitar differently. And it's all important.
And leading to the final question of what do you think, because I asked about what do you want your music to do? What has music done for you? What do you think music should do for the greater community? Whether that's your immediate town, your immediate friends and family, the bigger global scale goes, big or small as you want. What should music do for the greater community?
Music in general?
Yeah, your music, all music, I don't know, all part of the same thing, but like what's the function of music in society? As big or small as you want to make that.
Music is expression at its core. It's like the most fleeting form of art. Only in the past like 150 years have we been able to record it and physicalize music. So it's always been like a really...
Stink bug keeps coming back.
It's great.
Sorry.
I've been watching him climb around.
He's been like a returning guest, an uninvited guest. He's the Brutus of our podcast.
Oh man, he's here. He's going to land on your hat.
Very unfortunate way for him to interrupt. I'm sorry.
It's cool.
You're getting to a
He's
poignant
hanging out.
point. I know, but we don't want him to like... Okay, anyway.
He's functioning the way music would in this situation.
So in the greater community sense, music.
It's expression. It's the most uniquely human thing. Like other species have created like art or like semi-permanent structures, piles of rocks, things like that, nests, you know.
Yeah.
Birds sing and stuff like that, but humans communicate through rhythm and melody in a way that is just unique to our species. Like even like high praise is music, you know? And like putting words to music has only come over the past couple 100 years or whatever. Early music was just melody or just rhythm. Mm-hmm. And I think that really speaks to like the human core.
Right.
And I think that it's just never going, like music's not going anywhere. It's not gonna leave society.
Right.
It just changes.
And so it functions as something that's just intrinsically expressive of our human nature and condition, you would say?
Yeah. If you think about like rock and roll came out of like post, I know, right? Post-industrial like America, you get, or post-war England, you get really heavy music.
Yeah.
About like oppression and like systematic, letdowns. It's great. And then like, it's just a reflection of the human culture at the time.
Right. So it's just an expressive outlet.
Yeah.
Well, that's honestly like the best definition I could.
Areas of war have war music, marching bands, tribal music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Apparently,
we have rock and roll.
Black Sabbath say they were influenced. They're in Birmingham in a steel manufacturing district, and just the bang of the machines clanging in this, industrial world.
It helps to have a metal pinky, right?
Bottle caps, man. You got them cut off by a shear.
Literally was Iron Man, right?
So, I guess to wrap this all up, so Tip's coming out with some new singles, and then there'll be the final release will be whenever it's done mixing.
Yeah, probably.
Date on that. You got some shows coming up.
You?
Where do we find you guys? How do we get in touch? How do people get in touch with you? How do they connect?
We love Instagram. Tip the band.
Tip the band.
_
Is there a little innuendo there? Like, come, tip the band. Do you have a tip jar? You need to get like a tip jar that's got your logo on it.
We've been running away from just the tip our whole lives. So it helps
wait. Oh, there's some bigger story there.
It helps to have extra words to keep it there. We also have a cool logo, so we use
Where's
that
the
as
name
much
come
as
from?
possible.
Actually, while we're on it.
First name that none of us would know to.
But is it about like tipping somebody money, or is it just doesn't matter?
It's pretty up for interpretation.
Yeah.
We like the vagueness of it.
Because something about, I guess, with Canadian coins, the hand throwing the coins down, made me think of like a tip,
like change.
Here's some money. You're busking in the streets.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a tip.
We've definitely made our fair share of tips like that.
Yeah.
Don't forget, tip the band, and then people will pull out their wallets, and we're like, no, that's just our name.
But give us money.
Yeah. But we won't say no to those.
Yeah, it's cool. I like to think of it as like tipping over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tip the scales.
Tip the scales. Yeah, something
Tip
like
the
that.
music in a new direction.
Mm-hmm.
So Instagram's your
we like
main...
Instagram. We're on Facebook.
Spotify. Right?
We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Music. Yep.
Yeah.
YouTube. Tidal. Gotta be on Tidal. Kids love Tidal. We're on it all.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfect. So there's no excuse for anybody to not find
check it out. Listen
the
to
music
it.
of
Add it
Tip.
to your playlists. Let's get it going.
Yeah. And dude, thank you so much for coming out. Thanks for talking.
Dude, thank
this
you
was
guys
great.
for having me. It's been a long time coming, and I'm sure I'll see you guys around.
Oh,
Absolutely. We'd love to do some follow-up interviews, know what's going on in the future.
Definitely.
Maybe do some things on the road. But, dude, awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Do you have any final words for people you want to leave them with?
Watch this podcast. These guys are doing the right thing. You guys are really, really helping the music scene more than you think.
Nice.
Well, thanks.
Yeah,
Jeez.
something's...
What a,
No, you really are.
a non-self-serving way to end
Dude,
it.
I appreciate
That's
what you guys are
amazing.
doing, because you guys are not like... You're not like on the like radio, like National Broadcasters Radio. You're not like doing this for like thousands of dollars. Like, you just saw a need in the community and you're filling it.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
You can chime out for that. You can do the official chime.
All right.
We love y'all. We'll see you next time, or you'll see us. We'll talk to you. Whatever.
Doodaloo-doo.
All right. That's it. Bye. Love y'all.
Peace.